A new kind of crime is spreading across the country. It's being called burglary tourism. Here's how it works. Police say thieves from South America come to the U.S. on tourist visas and target homes in wealthy neighborhoods, especially in cities with soft on crime policies like Los Angeles. Even if they're caught, they often don't stay in custody for long. They move on to other states, fencing the stolen good here or shipping it back to countries like Chile. William La Jeunesse is in Los Angeles. He's got this crazy and bizarre story for us. So, William, why are they so hard to catch?
Well, number one, Sandra, I am told most are arriving here specifically from Chile, which is the only Latin American country you don't need a visa to enter the U.S. as a tourist. That means no background check. No, secondly, they have fake IDs to rent cars and hotels, so there's no electronic trail to follow. Police caught these four red-handed outside Philadelphia with masks, gloves, reciprocating saws, and glass break-in tools. North Carolina, four more. These four guys face 200 charges of breaking and entering homes to steal. Glendale, California. Police there arrested these three from burglarizing multiple homes. And finally, Baltimore, these five connected to break-ins in Maryland, North Carolina, Alabama, Oklahoma. What do they all have in common? They all entered from Chile posing as tourists.
So not only are they robbing us blind and burglarizing our homes, but then they're not held to answer for their crimes because we don't know and cannot represent to the court what their criminal background is.
And that's because as a tourist waiver country, police don't know their criminal background before they board an airplane, allowing them to travel to wealthy areas, not just L.A., New York, Miami, Phoenix, Detroit, Indianapolis, and more, where they case houses, break in, take cash, collectibles, and jewelry.
I can tell you that we have a significant increase in burglaries from organized groups that are outside this country.
And why are they so effective? Now, with those fake IDs, existing police databases and informants are virtually useless. High-end jamming devices disable home security systems. And because they don't use guns, most sheriffs don't hold and DAs don't prosecute residential property crime.
I literally cannot comprehend why the United States government is trying to protect Chileans who are coming in and breaking into our homes.
So DA Spitzer says the Biden administration could end this tomorrow by revoking Chile's waiver status, but they won't. He's suing the administration to find out why. Back to you.
Wow. This is just a crazy story. William La Jeunesse on that for us. Thank you. Jason Rantz, Seattle radio host. Jason, I mean, shocking, but I guess not really. I mean, what do you make of this? Burglary tourists robbing homes.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, they're coming to areas, they're going to areas that have sanctuary policies already, so they know that they're already going to be soft on any crime that they might be engaged in, and by the way, likely protect them from getting information to the feds if they actually get caught. But that's the thing, a lot of these folks are not getting caught, and as William said, when they do, they're just simply released. So if they are getting police too much on their trail, all they have to do is just leave the country. And it's not just happening from Chile, Ecuador, Colombia, Peru, also having some folks who are involved in this country. And while this is new, this specific incident, we have been seeing these kinds of things happen across the United States for the last couple years. It's just never been as blatant and flagrant. And I think that they're doing this because of a combination of all the things I just mentioned, especially the soft on crime laws.
Wow. Jason, meanwhile, it's the story we've all been talking about, the liberal media frenzy over former President Donald Trump's bloodbath remarks has handed him perfect fodder to rally his base and also rake in some cash. In a fundraising email, he clarified that he was predicting a bloodbath for the auto industry if Joe Biden wins in November. He tore into the, quote, fake news and Democratic Party, saying they are pushing a hoax to keep control. Democratic Senator Brian Schatz egged on the media to report without context. He posted, quote, headline writers, don't outsmart yourself. Just do Trump promises bloodbath if he does not win election. Wow, we saw exactly that on countless outlets. Ohio Republican Jim Jordan said this should surprise no one.
Has a template. The left will tell a lie. Big media will report the lie. Big tech will amplify the lie. And then when we tell the truth, they just attack us all the more. This is just how the legacy media and the mainstream press and the left are going to operate.
A new opinion piece argues the media and the Biden campaign are so eager to claim that Trump wants to foment violence in the case that he loses the general election that they will resort to cherry-picked quotes to craft their dishonest narrative. And they do this all while ignoring the nearly indisputable fact that widespread violence will break out from the left if Trump is elected in November. I mean, Jason, they didn't just run with this, they sprinted with this narrative.
They really did, and I think some of it just shows the desperation that they're feeling right now to do anything they can to ensure that Donald Trump doesn't win. The problem for them is that people have access to the internet and they can see the video of the actual speech, including the 1 minute's worth of context that perfectly explains the language that was used. And at some point, when you lie to the American people enough, not only do they lose trust in you, but then it starts to backfire. And then all of a sudden, you're sympathetic towards Donald Trump. And you start to think to yourself, you know, last time he was president, there was a lot of the nasty rhetoric and attacks, and I was sick and tired of all of that. But maybe it was completely overblown by the media. And then those folks start to remember how they felt financially, how secure they were under Donald Trump, and then they compare it to where they are right now. So I think that's obviously going to help Donald Trump. And every time he comes out and says, I am being targeted, the media or Democrats clearly make that point, which makes his job a heck of a lot easier.
Really interesting analysis there. Meanwhile, Jason, a post from former MSNBC host Keith Olbermann was taken down because it violated rules on X, formerly known as Twitter. Here's a screenshot. The Biden campaign posted a clip of Trump saying he has been persecuted worse than any president in history, including Abraham Lincoln, with the caption, Trump says he has been treated worse than Lincoln, who was assassinated. Olbermann responded, there is always hope. Jason, your reaction.
Yeah, Keith Olbermann is an awful person. It's very ironic because he had the worst person in the world when he used to be famous for about 15 minutes on MSNBC. But he meets that standard every single day. And he does this against people who are not just politicians, but everyday citizens. He is a rotten person. And if you want to talk about all the nasty rhetoric and how it can inspire violence, just look to the left. Keith Olbermann is one at the top of the list who's trying to foment the violence, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how long it stays down, if they keep it down, and if he comes back and does it again. By the way, Jason Rantz, thank you very much.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.